My name is Ron Hart. I'm a professional storm chaser and have been for over 12 years. And this is my home, the Florida Panhandle, otherwise known as the Emerald Coast because of its beautiful green waters and sparkling sugar white sand. The Destin, Fort Walton Beach, and Okaloosa Island area is the second most popular drive-to destination in Florida. And thousands of local residents and tourists are soaking up the rays and swimming in the warm Gulf waters, happy that Hurricanes Bonnie, Charlie, and Francis have visited the peninsula of the Sunshine State and left the Panhandle untouched. It's mid-September, and there's another storm that could spoil the party. A tropical cyclone named Ivan is gathering strength in the Gulf, and its final destination was still unknown. And summer on the Emerald Coast is about to come to a sudden and devastating end. It wasn't long before the Weather Service projected Ivan's landfall in the western Florida Panhandle, and local residents set to work boarding up their homes and businesses. A mandatory evacuation order was issued for the coastal areas, and traffic was backed up for miles as thousands began to run from the forecast Category 4 hurricane's landfall, now less than 48 hours away. Back on the coast, I found that the barrier islands were now mostly deserted, and I took advantage of this opportunity to videotape locations that would be impacted by Ivan within the next 24 hours. In the distance, you can see Ivan's first rain band as it approaches from the southeast. From this point on, there's no turning back Ivan's influence. Linking up with fellow storm chaser Sean Johnson from Jacksonville, we set out Wednesday morning to document Ivan's rapidly approaching feeder bands and ultimately the growing storm surge. As twilight turns into darkness, we decide to document Ivan's arrival at the Navarre Shopping Center.
At the KFC restaurant, I had a good view of Highway 98 and the businesses on the south side. It would only be a matter of time before the power would fail, along with my ability to videotape these locations. So I'm leaving to find several other alternate safe zones. The front doors and the windows of the shopping center are boarded up, and newspaper boxes are beginning to blow into the parking lot. On the building's west end, I find a possible location that will shield us from the wind and debris. Across the driveway is a McDonald's and another potential hideout. The wind is picking up, and as the rain bands pass more often, it's obvious that Ivan is growing nearer. Next to McDonald's, I'm once again out of the wind and find the lights across the highway are silhouetting the trees. With 3 hours to go before Ivan's winds are the highest, I drive back to the west end of the shopping center, confident that this location will be the safest.
Working with the National Weather Service, Sean is reporting wind speeds and conditions that are rapidly deteriorating as the eye wall of Ivan shifts slightly to the east, bringing the most destructive winds closer to our location.
The rain is blowing horizontally now, and transformers and power lines are beginning to create lightning-like flashes. Wind-blown debris is wrapping around the end of the shopping center, and the overhead canopy in front of me is beginning to show signs of coming down at any moment. We are considering a move to another location. The power pole with 2 transformers attached has just fallen behind us, and the canopy will soon follow. So we're forced to move to our next selected location on the other end of the shopping center. Ivan's winds are now at their highest, and we know that we could take a debris hit at any second. The
driving rain and howling winds make our short drive painstakingly slow.
I had a key when you. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, let's get around this
The sparking flashes ahead of Sean's SUV are coming from the hotel's fire alarm system. These are the only lights we can see except for our own.
Yeah.
Our destination is the rear of the shopping center, and the down power lines we are driving over are not a good sign.
With 3 feet of water and the prospect of falling power poles trapping us, we elect to move to our third pre-selected hideout.
Yeah, I just don't like being there with that power line. Yeah, if we don't get out of here, okay, you go ahead, I'll follow you out. I think you can go straight to by Kentucky Fried there. There's a building over there, it looks like.
We finally end up where we started, behind the KFC restaurant. In the pitch black darkness, our view is limited to their dumpster enclosure, and occasional debris flying by so fast, we take turns guessing what it was. It's 2 a.m. and 4 hours till dawn. With the roar of the storm and the sounds of snapping power poles and falling light poles all around us, we take turns trying to catch a few Z's.
At the first light of dawn, we are finally able to leave our safe zone to begin documenting Ivan's ongoing storm surge and continuing damage. The following footage speaks for itself.
No, none that I can see. Won't know until I watch it. If it's anything, I'll get the dents. Probably some scratches.
Ivan's storm surge had crossed Highway 98 during the night and was only 100 feet from our overnight location. About 2 feet of water and debris covered the roadway, and the only open road was to our east.
Drive over the palm tree?
situation when we have weather like this. It's just you almost know walk up and be very careful on what's in your yard. I mean, there's all sorts of debris out there. And never ever touch a down line, even though you think, well, the power's off, don't touch it.
With Highway 98 still flooded across from Hurlburt Field, we turned back to see if the base guards would let us cut through the base to Mary Esther. The base was totally deserted, and as we turned by the chapel, we noticed 2 damaged historic planes that had been on display. On Friday, I traveled to Okaloosa Island for a look at the missing section of Highway 98 and the damage along Santa Rosa Boulevard.
Permission to come down and do some shooting so we can see what we got out here.
Hello, my name is Don Abrams. I'm the general manager here at Florida's Gulfarium, and I want to reassure everyone that we're still here. This storm was nowhere near as bad as Opal, and we rebuilt and opened up after Opal, and we'll rebuild and open up again. Most of our damage was aluminum structures. All of our main buildings and our animals made it through great. So we're glad to be here. Sorry to go through it again, but the crew's here and we're ready to go again.
How'd the Dolphins fare?
Dolphins came through fine. We lost some sharks, which are probably back out in the Gulf right now. They're MIA. And at first thought we lost a turtle, but then later found her still here. So we're fine. We're going to open back up and we'll be ready for business hopefully by next season.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Hurricane Ivan took a heavy toll on all kinds of boats, and I found this salvage and recovery operation underway next to the Lucky Snapper restaurant near the Destin Pass.
I'm Bill Ballard. I am a marine surveyor contracted to Boat US. Boat US is a member-owned or a member organization that is a very large insurer of boats. And my responsibility here with Hurricane Ivan and previous hurricanes is to coordinate salvage of our insured vessels that need it, wreck removal, and location of vessels so that they can be assessed for damages and inspected and sent for repairs.
How many boats have you pulled out so far?
I personally and Ivan have pulled approximately between 20 and 25. Charlie and Francis, I personally pulled upwards of probably 40 in both storms.
Any idea of the value of the boats you pulled out so far?
Well, they all range in value. I say average has been in the mid 50s to $100,000 range. And a cumulative total is probably upwards of $750,000. And that would only be boats that I have pulled.
What would be the main reason that these boats went down?
Well, it's impossible to know, really. The owners, depending on their level of experience, make their own decisions. Or I should say, depending on the level of their experience, those decisions can be good or bad. Boat US provides some education to its members and its policyholders as to what to do in a storm. But in the end, particularly when we're dealing with Category 3 and 4 hurricanes, there is very little one can do to fully secure and protect their property. I always say that you do the best with the information you have, and you get what you get. These boats will be auctioned off on an internet auction. They will be purchased by various individuals or corporations that will either restore them, buy them for parts, or buy them to resell as salvage themselves.
Thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you.
As recovery efforts were underway in Navarre, I learned that two popular restaurants would not be reopening. Trader Vic's was a great place for locals to meet and was due to be demolished anyway to make room for a new development, and the sentiments of their customers were spray painted on the damaged structure. Cowboy's restaurant was also very popular with locals and tourists, but the high cost of rebuilding a new elevated structure was too great, so this part of Navarre's history will also be a part of Ivan's legacy.
There on the left, there's no dunes down there anymore. That whole state park area has been leveled. That's where the water came in.
With the roadway partially clear, we're finally able to document Ivan's impact on the Navarre Beach community. Ivan's storm surge blasted the sand from under dozens of homes, many collapsing into huge piles of rubble. Elevated homes fared no better, and in many places not a trace remains of some structures. One wonders why anyone would want to stay on a barrier island in the face of a hurricane, yet some actually do. Looking westward, many of the magnificent dunes of the Gulf Islands National Seashore have been leveled, and this is the end of the road for our visit to Navarre Beach. Pensacola Beach has just opened the park and hotel area to tourists, while just a short distance away, only local property owners, relief workers, and media are allowed access. This is about as close to Ivan's Ground Zero as we can get, and once again, images speak louder than words.
Well, we have electricity in the house now. Most of the people on the island, about 50% of the people on the island now have electricity. However, we do not have any sewage. So even though we have some water in the house, we're not allowed to use it. You can put it in a bucket or in a glass or something, but you can't drink it and you can't flush the toilets and you can't shower in it. So
How long have you been here? I mean, how soon could you move out after the hurricane?
well, it took us. We stayed in Atlanta for a week. We had evacuated to Atlanta, and we stayed in Atlanta for a week, and then it took us 3 days to find a trailer an RV, and then we moved it to a friend's house in Gulf Breeze, and it sat there for about a month before the beach allowed us to move it out to our property where we could live out here, watch our valuables, and clean up.
And how do you like RV living now?
I think it's wonderful.
It's something that you've done almost overnight. You really didn't. Some people take about 2 years to move from a home into an RV and take up the full-timer lifestyle, but this is something that you really had not planned to do, but you had to. But I assume it helps you being out here by your home.
Yes. Well, RV living was easy for us. My husband and I adjust very well. He was in the military for 26 years, so we were used to moving and adjusting. So we moved into the RV, and we very quickly became homebound, as people say. We had television, we had air conditioning, we had bathrooms, we had everything we needed, and it was very nice when they allowed us to move it out here because we had so much to do. All of our stuff had been under 6 feet of water, kind of swished around like a washing machine, and it was just laying out here rotting, and it was smelling like something dead. So it was very nice for us to be able to get out here where we could work and do stuff on a daily basis and try to save some of our valuables and some of our memorabilia. We lost a lot of things that we can't replace, and that's the saddest part.
Now, I understand you had to leave possessions laying out until the insurance company came by to look at it. Is that
Yes. The storm was the 16th of September, and we were not allowed to move our stuff until last Friday. So it lay out. We had it in various piles, and we had to make lists of everything that we owned. So the insurance company could see that we were not trying to cheat them. And then we had to show the list to the insurance company, and the adjuster was actually impressed that we had everything so organized. My husband had put the computer stuff in one pile and the living stuff in one pile and all the winter clothes in one pile. And so we were very organized, and she was very impressed, and she said that was a little unnecessary.
I understand it looks like you boarded up. I can see the panels up there on the roof, and I mean on the doors and windows. Did you lose any plywood from your windows during the storm?
No. As a matter of fact, we still haven't been able to get some of it down. The front we could take down, but we were waiting till the hurricane season was over for just in case. And then the back upstairs windows are so high we're going to have to pay someone to get those down, just like we had to pay someone to put them up, because we don't have a ladder that's high enough to get them, and the way you have to take them down, and they're so heavy that if you're not careful they'll fall and tear something else up. So we're going to pay someone to come take those down.
How close are you to the beach?
About a block and a half. There's 2 streets between us and the beach, so but it's about a block and a half from the beach and about a block and a half from the Sound. So we've got a perfect view area here on Via de Luna.
Now, I understand that a lot of people out here probably have about 4 to 6 feet of sand in and around and in front of their house. But you said you just had the opposite situation here.
We did. My neighbors had about 4 feet in their garage and underneath all their living area, and for some reason their house deflected all the sand, and the sand stopped at the property line and then washed mine out. So about 4 feet of my foundation was showing in places. I threatened to put a gazebo and get some koi to go in the little pond that was over on the left-hand side of the house. But we borrowed and begged and pleaded until we've got enough sand that at least we've covered up the foundation and have the house secure again.
Now, this is an older area. A lot of families live out here, and can they afford insurance, or what are any ideas on what's going to happen with the cost of insurance after this storm?
Well, what's going to hurt, insurance is going up. They said about 8%. But what's going to hurt individuals with the small concrete block houses is their value is about $50,000, $60,000 maximum. And due to the new Florida codes, they're going to have to put those houses on pilings. And that's going to cost them about $200 a square foot, which is, as you can see, is going to the cost of that's going to far outweigh what the insurance is going to give them for their small homes. So a lot of these people will sell out because they won't be able to afford to rebuild out here. So
it's sort of the small homes go and the big condos come.
Exactly, and that's what the Island Authority appears to be looking for. They're 4-lane in Via de Luna to accommodate Portofino. They're trying to build more and more high-rises. If you notice, a lot of the motels that got damaged are going to be torn down, and larger condos and high-rises are going to go up. The Comfort Inn, for one. They tell us that De Luna Point, De Luna Landing, all those little cottages are going to come down, and they're going to probably build a high-rise there. It's just going to keep growing until it's not going to be family-oriented down this way anymore, and it's very, very sad because this is a very beautiful place.
Well, I wish you all the luck, and I know you've got a lot of work to do, so I won't hold you anymore, but I appreciate you talking with us today.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
In the face of disaster, I found signs that this community was very strong and possessed a great sense of humor as well. It's said that without the beach, no one would want to visit or live here. So when Mother Nature rearranges the sand, man steps in with machinery that sifts out the debris and puts the clean sand back where it belongs. And in a matter of a few months, things will begin to normalize, and what was torn and tattered will become new again. We've obviously suffered a great loss, but found strength in the smiling faces of those who travel from across America to help us put our communities back together again. To those relief workers, police, fire, and medical personnel, National Guardsmen, and others, we can only say thanks. And please come back and share our beautiful beaches with us.